Again, the first ban onto a Zed. Maybe this has been terrorizing the elos of our completely participants most recently, and the Azir ban follow-up seen probably on. Oh wait, no, this isn't Elemonated. We weren't continuing with that game, but possibly seen on stream in the previous match and seen to be extremely strong.
Yeah, so Azir, as we said, is a high risk, high reward champion, and last game he did get shut down, so that is the risk, but he ended up coming back high reward. He ended up dealing so much damage just because he got to that late game scaling. So he is a champion that you have to look out for, and you have to shut down, and you have to keep him down. You don't give him any chance of coming back.
In the second round of bans, we're seeing the Tank Crew, Malphite, and Nautilus. That does leave Poppy open most likely, and if the third wave of bans turns out to be junglers. So we'll see what this top lane matchup looks to end up being. No Kha'Zix ban as of yet, so we'll see if Rotor Dogs look to go for that kind of snowballing style.
Yes, and actually the last pick and ban phase I talked about how the jungler for Elemonated really favored a lot of these snowbally picks. He's the favorite, being able to snowball the game into his favor and just end it very early. This is the opposite. Hot Memes loves to play junglers, tanks preferably, with CC. He is so good in this meta where it's about team fighting, about having tanks. It couldn't be a better meta for Hot Memes.
And this is an interesting first pick. I mean, the priority onto the Cho'Gath, I'm assuming that must be a Cho'Gath top, and that the reason they picked it is because the other players maybe don't have it. Not a champion that a lot of people are picking up nowadays, but it has been pretty strong. Picked a couple times in LCS in recent history. I believe Huni on Immortals has used it once or twice to good effect with his team.
And it also got buffed here in patch 6.6, so it gives more health with his feast, so he can be a tank, and as I always said, tank meta.
Tank meta, absolutely. And we are seeing the Thresh Lucian bottom lane. That's always a fun combination. Just two extraordinarily solid all-round picks, and that's a good way to start your draft, is with very generic, very comfortable picks. It'll fit into any team comp. There's no team comp in which Thresh or Lucian will not be useful.
Yes, Lucian is also Iroid's most played champion, so he is definitely a master on that champion and will be able to come out and be a lane bully as Lucian is meant to be.
Absolutely, and we are seeing a few different hovers here. They're a little bit too fast for me to comment on which one it is going to be, but it is going to be the Echo. So we'll see if whoever takes that in the end, and it looks like it may actually be in the mid lane if this Lee Sin gets locked in, if they'll be able to live up to if they can aspire to be as good as the Echo from last game, whose name was, I want to say Dudo. No.
Kudo.
Yes, that was Kudo.
Yes.
I was close.
Yes, but now, as you said, Echo has been picked up. The thing is, Cho'Gath is a flex pick. We have been seeing him being played a lot in the mid lane. We saw that last summer split of the LCS. So Cho'Gath can definitely be played in mid lane. He can also be played in the top lane, or for Echo, mid lane or top lane. So that is two flex picks. You don't know where it's going quite yet. But despite that, Lee Sin is that early game jungler. He's not quite on par with Graves or Kindred, who hasn't been picked up yet, but he's still going to be an early game jungler that can't get the job done. He's not anything particular like Graves or Kindred, as I mentioned. And
we are seeing the Victor locked in, which will actually be pretty interesting because I think into both matchups against either an Echo or against a Cho'Gath, that's actually a relatively even lane. I don't believe any side has more kill pressure than the other. Both mid laners are hovering. Oh, I can't actually give away summoner information. There's a reason we hide it on the stream so that people watching do not have that information. So ignore that. But we are seeing the Bard hover. I would love to see this. Bard is such a incredible champion when plays to his max potential. And the Jhin lock-in, I'm excited to see it after hyping it up last game. We'll see. Oh, but he is going to swap over to the Lulu, and that does seem likely because it is a excellent pickup to help keep that Jhin safe.
Lulu makes more sense to me as you need to keep Jin safe, as you said. So it also empowers someone like Lee and Echo and Cho, all of these that wants to dive and just deal the damage.
Oh,
And
but here we
there's your
go.
Kha'Zix.
I called it. Who called it? I called it. We have Kha'Zix on Visualiza. I am going to be looking forward to seeing whether or not she can go off on this game, because that is just a extraordinarily, like, that is a team comp where these guys want to win their lanes and then they want to crush this game. Like, you have the Zac to provide the CC, and then each of these different lanes has just huge amounts of kill pressure. We'll see if Visualiza does actually go with this teleport top lane, along with Wolf Demon, just to keep that pressure. Does allow a lot of map rotation and teleport. I think that the nerfs that Riot put onto teleport, where it doesn't give you enormous cooldowns for teleporting to a tower anymore, I think that was exactly the right amount to tune it back.
Yeah, I think teleport changes, of course, were necessary because it is just the favorite, summoner spell into the top lane, and it did deserve a little bit of nerfs. It does rain a bit of my parade because I love to see that. It's just such a strategic, good summoner spell, and I'm a bit sad to see that being nerfed, but still, it deserved the nerfs. But now, with that Kha'Zix being locked in, we also know that Cho'Gath will go to the top lane, so that can be a good lane for Kha'Zix pre-level 6. After level 6, Cho'Gath will have his feast, and if Lee Sin is able to come to the top lane, then Kha'Zix will have a lot of trouble going in, getting that isolation onto Cho'Gath.
I was going to say, it's particularly interesting to me that they chose to put the Kha'Zix in this top lane. Obviously, I mentioned that Visualiza has been picking it up, but in lane, it's very difficult to get those isolation stacks off. I remember from when I used to play in lane Kha'Zix, and it's such an enormous section of Kha'Zix's damage currently. It'll be interesting to see what build and what abilities that a Visualizer chooses to prioritize. Perhaps maybe looking to the use of I think it's Taste Their Fear is the Q. Actually, in a minion wave, does not draw minion aggro, which is always particularly fun for dealing damage and then allowing your minions to beat down on someone else. So we'll see if that works out well for her. I'm looking forward to seeing this bot lane matchup, though. This is an exciting lane. I do feel like maybe on the side of Piet Jamal, they'll look to play more safe, farm the Jhin up to a point where he can be dealing a lot of damage, and that on the side of Roider Dogs, they'll be looking to go aggressive. We'll see.
Definitely look to go aggressive as Roider Dogs because you have Lucian, you have Fresh. Both of these can be very good if you go all in. And then Hot Memes on the Zac, it's someone that he really knows how to play because Amumu is his most played, Zac is his second most played. So he knows how to play the Zac, and Zac is so strong in ganks. With the elastic slingshot, you can go in, be a pestilent with that CC, and Irods on the Lucian is a lane bully. So therefore, Jhin will have a lot of trouble because Jhin isn't able to put as much damage back as Lucian will be able to give very fast.
I do see that bottom lane being a solid place to prioritize for hot memes on that Zac. However, the top lane is equally so. Cho'Gath does not have a dash or blink and will not be able to get away from those ganks, and getting a snowballing Kha'Zix would be wonderful for Roider Dogs this game. We are into the last 10 seconds of the spectator delay, so we'll be into the loading screen any second now.
What I'm also looking forward to seeing is the Victor on Bolt, because Victor is someone that got nerfed very hard recently. It has been a few patches ago, but he really did get touched a lot, and he needed it because he was very strong. He's still very strong in the late game, or even in the mid game, but his early game got toned down. He's not quite able to push as much as he were able to do so before. And someone like Echo who can just go into him all the time, deal the damage, this is going to hurt Victor because he doesn't have that early game damage to punish Echo.
And I am excited to actually see that lane matchup, because between the two different lane matchups we could have had, where it would have either been Cho'Gath versus Victor and Echo versus Victor, that's by far the more action-filled one. So I'll be looking to take advantage of seeing some action in that mid lane. We are into the loading screen now. We are taking a quick look here to just see the masteries that the teams have picked up. We are seeing a fairly aggressive style coming out of Piet Jamal. They have 3 different Thunderlords, and then, of course, Wind Speakers on Lulu, as well as the Deathfire Touch on Jhin. That's fairly standard. And then an interesting choice is Visualizer taking Thunderlords on Kha'Zix. It will be very curious to see how that benefits, whether or not she'll be going for a kind of auto-attack style trading with sustain in lane to try and get those off.
I am very interested in summoner spells. It's the keystones. For Irods, first of all, he went for the Warlord's Bloodseeker, isn't that? I'm pretty sure that is what it's called. So he is going for a more sustain lane. You normally see a lot of the Korean teams go for this because it gives a lot of sustain. So you don't get the attack damage from the fervor of battle, and this might hurt Irods a little bit, but it will definitely help him sustain through the 4 shot that can come out of Solariax.
And certainly it'll allow him to stay in lane longer and apply that pressure that we're looking to see out of this bot lane in the early game.
Exactly, and then also for Deadly School, he went for the Windspeaker's Blessing, and this just shows what we talked about in the pick and ban phase, where Solariax and Deadly School are going to be playing very passively. The Windspeaker's Blessing will make the shield from Deadly School stronger, therefore it will empower it. Make sure that Solariax are going to be safe and will never be in any trouble.
It does look like early on here, though, Piet Jamal is targeting the enemy Nexus. How do you think this strategy will help them out in the game?
There's lots of things going down on that. First.
Lots of things going down on that. An extremely aggressive move to go for the Nexus this early on in the game, but we'll see how that works out for them. No, it does look like it is going to be some standard lane matchups. And speaking of which, we do have Piet Jamal on blue side with Wolf Demon in the top lane on Cho'Gath, Elsperath in Lee Sin in the jungle, Silbo99 on Echo in the mid lane, Solarax on Jhin in the bot lane with Deadly School at Lulu support. And then we have Visualizer on Kha'Zix in the top lane for Reuter Dogs, Hot Memes on Zac in the jungle, Bolt on Victor in the mid lane, Iroids on Lucian at the AD carry position, and Dirty Dan on Thresh.
And how the bottom lane has started. We have to look out for Iroids and Dirty Dan's level 2 power spike, because that's the point where they can really catch Solariax. And if Solariax gets caught out of position, then a lot of damage will be dealt onto him. And there is also the kill pressure of that ignite, so really a very aggressive lane coming out of both Dirty Dan and Iroids.
We are seeing that immediately with them pressing in as well. They're looking to get that level 2 early on. We will see Solarax but they are going in with the phase shift, and Dirty Dan, he is going to get the flay onto Solarax, and he catches the hook as well. The heal gets away, but the flash in from Iroid secures the kill. We are seeing Deadly School being harassed under tower, but that is going to be a quick first blood. Exactly like you predicted it, so it was.
Yes, that is the power of the level 2 all-in off Lucian and Thresh. That is why it's an all-time favorite for players. There is just so much kill pressure of those two, and especially with an ignite. Solariax now also do not have any summoner spells. He is also very slow to run to the lane, so he won't have a lot of the farm that he could have gotten. And when he comes to the lane, then Irods will have been able to go back, and there is going to be at least 2 longswords on the side of Irods.
We are seeing a lot of pressure coming out from Visualizer in this top lane, making sure, clearly knows the champion very well, making use of the unseen threat passive to dash in and out of the bushes so that she can have been unseen by Cho'Gath, and so that her next auto attack upon him will do a lot of damage, as well as taking advantage of using Taste Their Fear to harass away without drawing minion aggro in the lane.
Yes, and actually for both the top laners, they have their the corrupting potions. So there's going to be a lot of sustain on the side of those two, and they can. I feel like it kind of favors Cho'Gath in a way because he does have his passive, the Carnivore, where he recovers health and mana. So in the end, he's actually going to be out-sustaining Visualizer. I think so, at least.
Oh, but we are seeing Elsperath come here in the top lane. He does walk up past a ward though, so there will be nothing going. Now back to the bot lane though. We are seeing Iroids. Oh, but Visualizer actually stopping Elspeth back there. That was a quick piece of annoyance from him there. See whether or not he looks to do it again. I think that would be overly aggressive. Oh, but we are seeing the damage coming down in the bot lane. The polymorph though. Ooh, Iroids does actually get caught in the trap. Lots of damage trading back there. Turning out to be an even trade in the end. Still 10 minions up though. An extremely good early advantage.
Yes, that is definitely a really good advantage. And someone like Jhin that can be very punishing in the lane. If you shut him down that early, he's not going to be very punishing, and you already have a good grasp from him, making sure that he's not going to be that snowballing. Now, Iroids,
but we are
however,
seeing a gank
will be very
setting up here in the mid lane. Hot Memes does go in onto Sylvie, and they have been completely blown up by Bolt. An excellent coordinated gank. The damage coming in, trading, going in alongside the CC, just chained perfectly. There was nothing that Silbo was able to do.
Yeah, nothing that Silbo can do at this point, and that is why Zac is so strong as a jungler. You just level up Elastic Slingshot as your first ability, and then you can just do these
but we are seeing
ridiculous
Hot
ganks.
Memes
And
here
now
in the bot lane. Elsperath is there for the counter gank if needs be, but they were immediately able to recognize from the body move. Oh, but we are seeing Visualizer actually here going on to Wolf Demon. He does get the Taste of Fear down. He's dropped into the bush, but there was a ward there, so that will not actually activate his unseen threat. One interesting trick for Kha'Zix actually is if you want to check if a bush is warded and you've recently used your unseen threat. If you go into the bush and your passive doesn't reactivate, that means that there is a ward in there, so you can know whether or not to sweep it. It's particularly useful if you're playing jungle Kha'Zix. Just a fun little tidbit of information. Oh, but we are seeing Hot Memes here in the mid lane. He goes on to Silbo again, and will he have time to be able to do the chrono break? He does flash away though, actually, to get away.
I think it's very excellently played by Hot Memes, knowing that he can go to the mid lane again, because there is no flash on the side of Silbo. He used that earlier, and therefore you can do these extremely good return ganks as long as Silbo weren't level 6. He weren't level 6 there, and Bolt just had his ultimate, so there were a lot of damage.
Oh, but we have seen
Iroids
get caught up again. He keeps landing in these traps, and like that is a lot of the return damage coming out from Solarax. Using that Jinx to good threat. Oh, Dirty Dan so close with that damage. This mid lane though is getting pretty painful. Although that being said, Silbo has been able to keep up and farm, which is not as much as we can say for Soldiax in the bot lane.
Yeah, and
but we are seeing the flash coming in from Bolt. He is able to phase dive away though, and nothing coming of that.
Nothing coming off that, indeed, and now with Dirty Dan being such a huge threat in the bottom lane, Iroids also went back to get his Spear of Swords, so there is so much damage that can come out of these two.
But we are seeing the hook landing onto Solarax here. The shield does come down onto Solarax from Deadly School. However, the damage trading, it's just an excellent trade. Whenever you land a hook on Thresh like that, and especially if you use Ignite, you're always going to come out of that trade as a win.
It's basically a dirty dance from Dirty Dan trying to land that hook every time, and I'm sure that Solarax aren't having the time of his life.
Yeah. Why, Jesper?
I thought it was good.
It is good. It is good. We are seeing the culling out there, just the pressure keeping him under tower. He is going to back though. We'll see if Dirty Dan looks to press up and stop that with a hook under tower. Everyone at the moment just taking their time, farming the jungle. Nothing happening there. Oh, but we are seeing Dirty Dan actually land the hook onto Deadly School in the bot lane. Deadly School, though, he does have his ultimate already. Living Growth, I believe it is. Yeah, Wild Growth it is. And he's just able to dissuade that. That being said, did burn Flash as well. So this bot lane is going to be an excellent place for Hot Memes to maybe start targeting some ganks, because both of the, but we are seeing Visualizer in the top lane, goes onto Wolf Demon, deals a healthy chunk of damage, but Wolf Demon can just sustain that back up.
I'd like to see Hot Memes pay more attention to the bottom lane, because he have been trying to do that for a little bit, but there are some wards there and he doesn't really need to go through the tri-bush. But when iRods and Dirty Dan goes back, they are having a lot of gold in their pocket. I mean, there is at least enough gold on the side of iRods to get a Caulfield's Warhammer, and for Dirty Dan he's going to be able to get his Sidestone. So now he can also get a Sweeper, and ganking the bottom lane would be fairly safe. Just go there, try to expand the snowball that is already happening, and Silver is taking a lot of damage.
We are seeing Hot Memes dissuaded from our discussion. He is moving to that top side, probably looking to pick up his red buff, make sure that he keeps his jungle clear and keeps up in farm with Elspeth on the other side of the jungle. Yeah, quiet times. I'm compared to the last game, like we've got 2 kills at 10 minutes. It's more relaxed. Everything's just calmed down. Elspeth spotted out in the top line. Nothing will happen here. Oh, we are actually seeing him. He's baiting the fight. They know Hot Memes is there. Oh, he jumps away though, and Elspeth, he has gone far too aggressive, has to flash out. We'll see all Visualizer comes in with the flash, the Taste of Fear, and the isolation damage, instantly deleting Elspeth. And Wolf Demon, he's going to be going down too. All it will take is one more hit. Well, he'll get the flash away, but Hot Memes is going to follow, and one more auto attack will do it. We are seeing iRods going hard on the bot lane here though, and Dirty Dan with the flash hook, but misses entirely. SolarX, the Wild Growth comes out, and there's so much damage onto them, but iRods actually comes back in with the culling. He's low, but Dirty Dan is still just in there looking to fight the good fight. We'll see if SolarX, he's been healed so much, is able to get the damage back onto them. But surprisingly, not a good trade coming out from Roider Dogs here in this bot lane. And we are seeing, it looks like Hot Memes and Visualizer in the top lane, they have secured that Rift Herald, knowing that immediately after securing the kill on the jungler and the top laner, there will be no one there to pressure that. So specifically with Bolt providing so much pressure in mid lane. That CS advantage now increasing. Oh, but the hook? Oh.
I love to see what they're doing in the bottom lane. We're just forcing a lot of fights, and then getting that Rift Herald. Oh, of course.
Oh, but we are seeing the... Ooh, there it is. Will he miss? Oh, but Dirty Dan has actually been caught on here, and he's going to be caught behind enemy lines. There's no way that he's not going down there. He is gone for the aggressive masteries on Thresh. Seems to have Thunderlords and be looking to build that high CDR build, that high playmaking build, but that doesn't make you tanky enough, and they are going to take Dragon off of that.
Yeah, so they get the Dragon. Well, it is always good to get the Dragon, obviously, but it isn't going to be very beneficial.
We are seeing people coming in here, and Bullet appears to be caught out. You can't contest this Dragon, and he is going to be going down. There's no way. Oh, but he does flash the long way around, but the Echo has the speed to catch up. All it will take is one phase shift, and... Oh, but the damage under the tower. Oh, but the Chrono Shift does take him away.
Okay, so they get 2 kills and they get a Dragon as well. That's just good. It is good for them to get the kills. Dragon is always a good price as well. It's just something you add on top of your main price.
Oh, but Visualizer, there's so much isolation damage immediately onto Wolf Demon. We'll see if he can get... Oh, the unseen threat damage from that auto attack is so brutal. And we are seeing Dirty Dan here actually going onto Elspeth. He ward drops out the wall, but the damage out of the isolated Q does so much. Oh, and Dirty Dan picks it up with a cheeky hook over the wall.
And despite the side of Future Mao, they get 2 kills, but they also give up 2 kills in return, and they are falling a little bit behind. They're behind 3k now, so they're giving up a lot of kills, and everybody on the side. Oh, here comes the gang.
Hot Mean is here in the bot lane, but very easily avoided by Future Mao. Deadly School and SolarX just recognizing that Hot Memes was around and making sure that they backed off to a safe distance.
Yes, but they have to be
Oh, but
careful.
Hot Memes actually has been catching out on him here, and we'll see whether or not the Wild Growth can keep him safe here. Dirty Dan is drawing the tower aggro and is exhausted, but SolarX just taking so much damage. Hot Memes, one more auto attack, and iRods takes the Lantern out. Hot Memes has very little health, and he's looking to get to the other side of the tower. He does go down, but it's only going to pause the passive. And that's actually allowed Dirty Dan to come back in. Deadly School baited in by the sight of a very weak Hot Memes, but the flash burned and nothing doing. 1 kill for 0.
Yeah,
and a tower.
Again, it is the side of Rotor Dogs that gets a lot of kills, and they are just dominating this game. They are just getting a lot of resources. They snowball this game now, a 5k goal lead. And it's just hot memes on the sack is so good. Well, I wouldn't give all of the credits to hot memes because everybody is just doing so well. They pick some strong lanes and they are snowballing with it. iRods have really shut down SolarX, and SolarX were supposed to be the late game insurance for Future Mao. They're not able to have that late game insurance now unless they give him time to catch up on the 30 CS, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to get that time.
It really does come back to that point you put out on Champs. Like, these are team comps where, specifically for Rotor Dogs, they are looking to take advantage of these strong lanes and that gank-heavy Zac to snowball their advantage and make sure they get really far ahead. And they are working towards that win condition extremely well. On the side of Piedmont, they really need to work harder to keep their laners safe and play further back, make sure that they can get that scaling that they want, because they are down in farm, they are down in kills, and really it's looking like it may be a rough road for recovery for them. Visualizer here going on to Wolf Demon, Dirty down also in the top lane. We'll see if he can land the hook. Oh, but just wide.
Actually, I'm a bit sad that Hot Memes didn't go for Rune Geckos, because Zac actually have some okay AP ratios, and you don't see a lot of people go for the, oh wait, we might see a gank. Hang on.
Oh, we are seeing Elspeth here. He's allowed him to come on, but he misses the...
Oh!
American's Rage, and Dirty Dan actually comes in and they just blow him up. He's not got anywhere near the tankiness to deal with those two. KG does... Soulboy99 does actually manage to get away, but Visualizer here, he's immediately run into the bot lane, and he's actually able to, he flashes the Glitter Lance and gets the slow off. Hot Memes unable, does get the slow down, and it does look like SolarX is not going to be able to resist this at all. Excellent team play coming out here, and Bolt manages to just instantly delete Soulboy99 in that mid lane. He didn't even get his Chrono Break off. We are seeing Dirty Dan actually coming around. Oh, but Deadly Skull, he's got the speed, he's getting away. And Visualizer just farming behind tier 2, you know, at 16 minutes, as you do. Established dominance.
Yes, it's not about getting any kills, it's about setting an example.
Yeah, it's about how you set that example.
Oh my god, this is the second tower that Rotor Dogs are getting, and it's an inner turret. This just shows how far ahead they are now. A 7k goal lead. They're also going to be picking up a tower in the mid lane.
And take this mid lane as well. We'll see if the rest of the Rotor Dogs look around to rotate and take that tier 2. Wolf Demon, he'll need to teleport if they want this. Oh, they're going to set up in this... but they get... Despite seeing that Jin hit someone, and Lee Sin is going to get away, but Deadly Skull gets completely blown up, caught in the gravity field, and deleted by iRoids and Bolt. And Dirty Dan. Oh, but he does actually land the damage onto SolarX, and with no Lulu there to wild growth him away, there's no way he's going to survive that one. Dirty Dan, I'm loving this Thresh. He lands hooks left, right, and center. He's creating action all over the place.
Yeah, and he's trying to force the enemies into dancing salsa, and they're not very good at it. But right now, for Future Mao, they just have to try and wave clear. And the problem is that for Rotor Dogs, they are so far ahead that there's no way that Future Mao will be able to wave clear without being dove on, and if they dive them, they're just going to be deleting Future Mao, because the Future Mao, they cannot deal with any dives, let alone wave clear without losing any towers.
I would say that at this point in time, Future Mao's best option is to group up and make that diving a tower an extraordinarily dangerous threat, specifically with Deadly Skull's wild growth. That can really... Oh, but just... Okay. Oh my god. Alright, Mercy. Sweet, sweet Mercy.
This is just making me dead inside, man. It's just... It's so sad to see someone getting dominated like this. But, well, as you said, yes, grouping up would definitely be a way to do so, but the problem is just that even if you group up, you're still going to be very far behind. Your Jin is practically not a part of this game. Wolverdemon is really the only one that is doing fairly okay in this game.
Now they're just going to pick up a free dragon. We'll see if they... Ooh, very close there out of SolarX. That would have been a fun, redeeming moment, if not all that useful to them. Maybe they could have worked towards that 5 dragon stack, but Warrior Dog's just looking to secure, and Visualizer just going ham here. Oh, that extra damage moving past Cho'Gath. The Void Spikes and the Taste Their Fear doing so much damage, just deleting Wolf Demon despite how tanky that Cho'Gath is. Oh, but now I am actually taking a look and seeing that Cho'Gath looked to build Rod of Ages. Very, very aggressive.
Yes,
And ambitious.
I mean, it is ambitious. You need to have a way of dealing some damage, and you are the only one doing fairly okay for a team. So it's ambitious, but he has to do it, or he will be putting his team in a bad position because they are not able to carry in any way.
What do you think is the next step here for... Oh, but we are seeing Dirty Dan actually catch a hook onto Deadly School, but they don't have enough vision to make sure... And it would have been a bad fight to take because they didn't have the numbers advantage. We are seeing a Pink Ward coming out there immediately. They do actually have the Rift Herald buff, which will be replaced shortly with Baron, no doubt. They are going to look to take down this tower. Hot Meme is actually taking a lot of damage here, and he does get caught into the Echo stun. Will they be able to take him down? It will only pop his passive, but they're not even able to get that. Oh my goodness. And we are seeing the hook here onto Wolf Demon, but I doubt that they'll take up that opportunity, especially with Visualizer being very far away and not being having teleport available.
Wolfdemon has to go back into the top lane to deal with the waves pushing there, and Soloix has to go to the bottom lane because there's also waves pushing there. They have to get this farm. They cannot afford to lose it because this will just put them even further behind, and then you need to just make Silbo stay in the mid lane. He's the only one that can wave clear on his own. Right now, take a look. All the minions are going to waste at the towers. Just give up the inner turrets. You don't need them. You can defend your base at this point.
Oh, and there's so much damage coming out of that Victor laser. Elspeth, you need to back away from this. There's no way you guys can defend 2v4 on this set tier 2 tower.
Exactly. Just give up the tier 2 tower. There's no way you can deal with this bonus
flash
flashing.
deletion. He has been so on point with his deletions this game. Visualizer diving actually under the tier 3 tower. Wolf Demon, he's going down. Double kill coming in for both Visualizer, though he's going on to Solar Axe, and he does actually manage to get the leap and... Oh, but Solar Axe does get the shutdown. That doesn't change the fact that Hot Memes is going to go down to... Hot Memes is going to delete Deadly School, and on top of that, Bolt just secures himself a third kill of that fight. Bolt, that Victor in this mid lane, so much damage. Feels like the Victor of old.
And Dirty Dan is landing so many great hooks. It's very beautiful to see how he's so coordinated with his team that whenever he lands a hook, his whole team goes in, goes for the kill, gets the kill, and then goes back out and waits for some more CC. It's very beautiful to see. It's, I dare to say, marvelous.
Absolutely. He has done excellently this game, and you can see from his items as well quite how it is extraordinarily interesting to see him go for the Eye of the Equinox. I don't think that the game's going to be going late enough that that'll be a worthwhile pickup, but it's interesting to know that he's got that backup planned. But you do see, even more interesting, is the Distortion Boots of Swiftness. That is just a sign. He knows that he's got that high CDR, hook off cooldown extraordinarily quickly, and then on top of that, he wants his flash up to make those plays.
Yeah, why not? You are so far ahead that if you can make more plays, then it's just so beneficial for a team. The more plays you can make, the more objectives you're able to take, and therefore I love to see those distortion being brought onto his Boots of Swiftness. And now visualize it, take a look at his items. He has a Morphimal Mortius and a Death Dance. This guy, he's pure assassin, he's pure terror of my nightmares.
Oh, and we are seeing, just as I was about to mention, the next objective that should be in the eyes of Royal Dogs here is this Baron. They do so much damage, and they are bringing it down quite quickly considering it's only 23 minutes. But Hot Memes and Dirty Dan happy to tank this one up, and it doesn't look like BHML have any intention to contest. Certainly they seem to actually be going for a pick onto Visualizer in the bot lane here. They do not have vision of him, and they will recognize now. Oh, but Deadly School, you cannot take this fight. Oh, the unseen threat and the taste their fear is going to be entirely too much. Oh, Visualizer going in 1v3. This is incredibly aggressive. The unseen threat actually putting him on the backside. We'll see whether or not he can get away from this one. But the vision has been landed. It does seem like that was overly aggressive. We'll see if that is the key that allows Piagemao to hold off this Baron empowered push.
Please report Visualize that he just screwed up his KDA.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Yeah, report Visualizer. Too many kills. Oh, but Silbo 99. So many times where he has been able to use Chrono to pick this break game, and Hot Memes is diving under the tower. Wolf Demon, he's going so low. He doesn't have enough tankiness on this Cho'Gath. The passive is going to be pop for Hot Memes, but Elspeth is not going to be there to pick it up with a smite or any damage. Deadly School, he falls to the Dirty Den, and we are seeing the quadra kill out of Iroids, and that will be the game. 20 seconds on the nearest man, and they have Baron empowered minions.
Yes, this is most likely going to be the game, and it was just such a dominating performance from the Voider Dogs. It was like watching someone dance salsa, and it sure was hot.
An absolutely excellent game coming out of them here, diving the fountain at the end. Points for style. Congratulations to Roider Dogs for picking up this game up against Piagemao.
Yes, beautifully. To be serious, they just snowballed the game. I mean, Hot Memes on that sack had so many great ganks. He were able to come in and help his strong lanes all the time. He helped them snowball, and off of that, the few kills that they got with Hot Memes, they were able to, in the end, pick up even more kills and just take the game out of the hands of Piagemao.
And who do you think? This is quite fascinating, actually, because Bolt on Victor and then Visualizer on Kha'Zix only dealt Visualizer dealt 50 more damage. 50 more damage during the game. They both ended up with 15,000 damage done in such a short game, 24 minutes. My goodness.
Holy moly. I mean, that we saw
indeed.
all of the damage that he were able to come out in the later stages of the game. Well, in the later stages of this very early ended game, and then we also saw a Visualizer just two-shot a support.
How do you even pick an MVP out of these players? Because Dirty Dan, he landed hooks left, right, and center, demolished that level 2 startup, and was just making plays all over the map. But then you look at Bolt, who just single-handedly crushed his lane. Hot Memes coming in with that early gank, and from there just deleting poor Silvo 99 before he could even get Chrono Breaks off. I mean, I don't know who to pick.
Yes, I mean, Dirty Dad, well, everybody were the own MVP of their lane, I'd say, and I feel like Hot Memes were not that big of a part of it, to be honest, because he obviously had some good ganks, but in the end, the strong laners really came out on their own.
For me, it's definitely between Dirty Dan and Bolt here, because they both were so incredibly impactful throughout the game. Yeah. And actually, on that note, I am going to give it to Bolt, simply because he also kept up extraordinarily well on farm. Had the second most gold in the game, just behind Iroids, but 80 carry, it's to be expected. He also did particularly well, but it was largely off of the back of Dirty Dan's excellent CC lockup. Not to discredit his talent, because he played very, very well himself.
Yes. I mean, I see the point you're making, and I feel like everybody really did a great job. It's hard to pick an MVP for this game because it was just a lot of strong laners dominating their own lane and then snowballing the game. It's so hard to pick a MVP.
Absolutely, but that will do it for this game. Congratulations again to Roider Dogs on that domineering victory. We will be going to a break shortly, but I would like to announce just quickly